Welcome everyone to today's Explainer. If you've ever been curious about how our natural world actually operates, from the tiniest little insects crawling in the dirt all the way up to massive soaring birds of prey, well, you are in the exact right place. Today, we're going to map out how plants, animals, and even the dirt beneath our feet team up to create this magnificent web of life. Okay, let's dive right into this. Have you ever wondered how a top predator, like, say, a fierce hawk scanning the horizon, could possibly owe its life to a simple, tiny blade of grass down on the ground? It sounds kind of like a riddle, doesn't it? But there is a very real, scientifically proven pathway connecting that exact blade of grass directly to that hawk. And we are going to solve this little mystery together, step by step. Section 1, welcome to the ecosystem. Let's get into it.
To solve our hawk and grass mystery, we first need to set the stage. Now, an ecosystem isn't just a bunch of animals hanging out together. The actual definition is a community of living organisms and their non-living environment. Basically, that means the plants, the animals, the water, the air, and the soil are all completely, literally connected in one giant, perfectly balanced system. Energy flows through this system continuously, and essential nutrients are constantly being recycled, so absolutely nothing goes to waste. It's kind of like nature's ultimate recycling plant.
Moving right along to Section 2. Producers, consumers, and decomposers.
Okay, so every great story needs its cast of characters, right? In an ecosystem, they're defined by how they get their energy. And the ultimate power source for almost everything on Earth is the sun. First up, we have our producers, or autotrophs, which magically make their own food using sunlight. Then come the consumers, the animals that have to eat to survive. We've got primary consumers, which are your herbivores, secondary consumers, your carnivores, and top predators, the bosses who have no natural enemies. Finally, we have the cleanup crew, the decomposers. And hey, fun fact, whenever you sit down and eat a fresh green salad, you're stepping right into the ecosystem and acting as a primary consumer.
Now, what's really interesting here is looking at these players in action. Think about primary consumers, like a rabbit or a grasshopper. They rely directly on producers, like the grass. Then jump over to the top predators, like a hawk or an eagle. And down at the very bottom, do not miss the fungi and bacteria. They might not be as glamorous as a soaring eagle, but these decomposers are absolute heroes. They break down dead material and return those nutrients right back into the soil.
Section 3. Following the food chains.
So this right here is a mini drama of nature called a grazing food chain. Follow the steps with me. Number 1. It all starts with the grass, our green producer making food from sunlight. Number 2, a hungry grasshopper comes along and eats the grass. 3, a small bird swoops in and eats the grasshopper. 4, a snake catches the bird. And 5, our hawk dives down to capture the snake. Look at how energy literally moves step by step, hopping from one organism to another, passing all the way from a sunlit plant to our top predator. Boom! That solves our mystery from the very beginning of the explainer.
But, nature always has more than one trick up its sleeve. Not all chains start with fresh green plants. Check out this detritus food chain. It starts with dead organic matter, like fallen, dead leaves. Step 2, an earthworm munches on those decaying leaves. 3, a mole burrows through the dirt and eats the earthworm. And 4, a nocturnal owl swoops down and catches the mole. This chain is absolutely vital because it makes sure that even dead material is used to power living things, recycling all those nutrients right back into nature.
Let's look at them side by side to make this super clear. On one side, you have the grazing chain, which starts with living plants powered directly by the sun. On the other side, the detritus chain, which starts with dead organic matter. So 2 completely different starting lines, but both are absolutely essential pathways that keep the energy flowing and the whole ecosystem thriving.
Now for Section 4, the complex food web. While simple, straight-line food chains are great for understanding the basics, well, nature is rarely that simple. Welcome to the interconnected food web, and this brilliantly illustrates how things really work. If you follow these intersecting connections, you'll notice that most animals don't just eat one thing. Think about a fox. Sure, it might eat a rabbit, but it might also snack on a mouse. An owl doesn't just eat moles, it's hunting mice too. It's a massive, tangled network of survival where everyone relies on multiple sources for energy.
Now, this brings up an incredibly important question. What happens to this web if one specific food source suddenly just disappears? Say all the grasshoppers vanish. Well, because so many food chains are interconnected in this web, an animal that eats grasshoppers usually has other options. They might just start eating more beetles or caterpillars instead. These backup connections are basically nature's insurance policy. They help other food sources step in to keep the entire ecosystem stable and balanced.
Moving on to Section 5, the energy flow pyramid.
So, we've seen who eats whom, but there is actually a strict mathematical limit to how long these food chains can get. If you remember only one number from today's explainer, make it this one, 10%. Yep, just 10%. This is the magic and honestly sometimes harsh rule of the ecosystem. It means that only about 10% of the energy from one trophic level successfully passes on to the creature that eats it at the next level. Let's break down that 10% rule. As energy moves up the chain, a massive 90% of it is lost. Actually, scratch that. It doesn't just vanish into thin air. It's lost as heat. The animal uses it up just for living. Breathing, moving around, staying warm. So to put that into perspective, if our plant producers start with 10,000 kilojoules of sun energy, the primary consumers only get 1,000. The secondary consumers get just 100. And by the time it reaches a tertiary consumer, like our hawk, only 10 kilojoules remain. Because the energy shrinks so dramatically at each step, nature simply runs out of fuel to support endless links in a chain.
Section 6. Why healthy ecosystems matter. All right, we've covered a lot of incredible ground today, from the flow of solar energy to the bustling food web. So let's recap the key ideas from our explainer. First off, everything is connected. All living things in an ecosystem rely on each other. Second, the energy driving this whole machine flows straight from the sun. Third, decomposers recycle. Never forget our cleanup crew keeping the soil rich. Fourth, ecosystems are stable when they have complex webs. And finally, every single role is important. From microscopic bacteria to a soaring eagle, every living thing has a vital job.
So the crucial point is this: our planet is one giant, beautiful, fragile system of connections. Protect ecosystems, protect life on Earth. When we take care of the soil, the plants, and the animals in our local environments, we aren't just saving a single forest or pond. We're protecting the vast web of life that sustains our entire planet. So what small step can you take today to help protect the amazing ecosystem you live in? Keep exploring, keep asking questions, and I'll see you in the next explainer.